56 public healthcare centers, 2,886 private hospitals, clinics and laboratories, as well as an estimated 160 tribal medical centers in the state. With these statistics, the volume of medical waste generated in the state remains a big challenge. The yearly progression of medical waste collection in the state from 2006 to 2012 shows that there has been a continuous increase in the waste generated from 7.8 tons to 425.8 tons in 2012. So, how then did the state manage medical waste in the past?
Before 2006, it was a kind of a very solid state, the way we manage our medical healthcare waste. They were actually commingled with domestic waste and taken to the dump site. In those days, you get to a dump site, you see syringes, you see a lot of decaying body parts on the various dump sites.
And what really is medical waste?
End products of materials used within a hospital premises. It ranges from products from patients' bodies, like urine, like blood, like gauze that were used, like sutures, like needles and syringes, so many things.
Healthcare waste is classified as hazardous waste in this part of the world, and it's very injurious to human health if not properly managed.
Lagos State government is concerned about indiscriminate dumping of medical waste at dump sites across the state. But it's also putting plans in place for effective management of waste.
We started with 2 local governments, Ikeja and Surulere, that started at that particular time. And it has evolved now, and I'm sure we have in almost every local government now. They are being covered now and so on. We have even PSP operators, about 35 major PSP operators managing the medical waste and so on. And I think it's been good for us. It can be better. It has helped us, and it has helped our hospitals as well in dealing with the effects and so on. And that has also reduced the level of infection, the level of contamination that you are observing in the past.
Hydroclave system, whereby we use the steam, is an upgrade of the autoclave, an industrial autoclave system, but beyond the autoclave system, we pulverize. There's a shredding machine inside the system, and after we get it pulverized to expose the surface area, we now use steam at about 130 degrees centigrade temperature to take away the pathogens from the waste and get it to be inert. And once you've done the shredding and the waste is now almost an inert material, then it cannot go into the landfill sites because it's no more dangerous. You probably will have killed all the dangerous component of that waste.
So we are doing very well, but I believe that we can establish more of that. If you see more patronage, if you see more hospitals and more investments in the medical field.
It is the view of experts that if medical waste is not properly treated and managed before being disposed at landfill sites, it would cause more harm to people living around the dump sites, hospitals that generate the waste, health workers, and even people managing the waste in the long run.
Quite interesting, isn't it? Now, have you ever considered how consuming less salt, eating a balanced diet, engaging in regular physical exercise, and avoiding tobacco and harmful use of alcohol can help lower your risk for hypertension? Well, tonight our focus on health shows why you need to prevent and control this non-communicable disease.
High blood pressure, also known as hypertension, affects millions of people all over the world. The World Health Organization estimates that high blood pressure affects more than 1 in 3 adults. The question is, are you one of them? Answering this question is not rocket science. It only takes you getting regular blood pressure checks.
Hypertension is a persistently elevated blood pressure above what is 140 over 90 millimeters of mercury. The normal blood pressure range is from 160 millimeters of mercury at the lower end to 140 over 90 millimeters of mercury at the upper end.
There is one hypertension that we call idiopathic. It means hypertension that just occurs. You cannot pinpoint one particular disease. That is the one that is most common and the one that I'm talking about that usually occurs in the middle age. But other types of hypertension can occur at any age. For instance, a person that has hypertension secondary to kidney disease, that could occur even in a child as young as 2 or even 10.
Do you know your blood pressure numbers?
Well, actually, I don't check. I just checked maybe last year. Last year. You know, I'm an African. We don't we don't care about those things. It's the Igbo people that bother about that. We're African. We're okay. I'm okay. I drink herbs. Take African herb, and I do exercise. I'm okay.
When last you check your blood pressure? I'll say some few months ago. What are the numbers? Well, okay.
Historically, aside from hereditary factor or pregnancy-induced hypertension among other issues, the risk for high blood pressure increases with advanced age. But that trend seems to be reversing as younger people are said to be coming down with the condition, manifesting all other known risk factors.
Nowadays, you find out that children are getting much fatter than they used to. So they are now developing the diseases that used to be seen in much older ages. So you find out that it is not uncommon to find hypertension along with other lifestyle diseases in people in their 20s and 30s. Other things that may cause hypertension include if a child is very, very, very obese, is likely to develop hypertension at a much younger age than maybe his parents develop them. Also, if a person is smoking, people now start smoking from their teens. So if you find a child that is overweight, that is smoking from teens and lives on a lot of junk food, hypertension, diabetes, all of these problems will occur at a much earlier age.
I'm wondering why hypertension is called the silent killer? Hear this.
Pressure is higher than normal. There is no symptoms that is associated with it. If your blood pressure is high and it is going to come down with symptoms, they are actually symptoms of complication. Things like stroke, things like hypertensive encephalopathy, things like heart failure, and kidney diseases. So the control of hypertension is lifelong. But it is important for me to quickly mention here that before we go into issue of drug treatment, there are some lifestyle changes that goes a long way, has been demonstrated repeatedly to actually reduce blood pressure. One is to reduce weight. You reduce your weight by 10%, blood pressure drops by 10%. It's by direct proportionality. Reduce your salt intake, drops the blood pressure.
The type of food people eat, we should go back to the traditional agrarian diet, diet made of plenty of cereals or plenty of fiber, vegetables and fruits. If one is able to do that, cutting out salt, cutting out alcohol, preventing smoking and passive smoking, then you find out that lifestyle diseases like diabetes, the frequency will reduce. Diabetes, hypertension, obesity, myocardial infarction, prevalence will reduce drastically.
Knowledge is power. The earlier you get to know your blood pressure status and take necessary actions, the greater your chances of avoiding sudden death or disability from cardiovascular diseases. So, make it a habit. Know your numbers. Yomi Otaibe reporting for Channels Television News.
Well, good advice there. Still ahead on the news at 10, the Minister of Trade and Investment hinges trade development in West Africa on removal of all barriers by the countries in the sub-region. Please join us again.
Kids are explorers. Wow, what a great beach. Look, other kids have also discovered it. Who owns this beach? It's a draw. What now? The Capri check. Put the straw in and let the tasty Capri Sun decide.